was your customer? Or how was your salesperson working out for you?
He's good. It was good. It was good.
Was he able to answer all your questions and everything for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So far, yeah.
Car that you're getting today, was that in stock? Or
Yes.
did we have to trade for it? It was in
It
stock?
was here. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, because the car is here.
All right. So the main reason I'm asking you all these questions is because you're actually going to get a survey from the manufacturer. Okay? And a good portion of those questions that are going to be on that survey are going to be about your salesperson. Okay? So they're going to ask you a lot of questions like, how was this product knowledge? How was your experience? And how was your overall experience at the dealership? Okay? So I just kind of want to make sure that I'm able to answer all your questions for you before you actually walk out of here. All right. So if anything pops up, just let me know. Or after the fact, just give me a call, I'll give you my phone number and so on. Other questions that are going to be on that survey are going to be about the dealership, the facilities. Was it clean? Was it dirty? Did we set up your first service appointment? Things like that. And then lastly, they're also going to ask you about the car itself. So they're going to ask you questions like, was the car clean? Was it dirty? Did it have any damage on the exterior? And did it have a full tank of gas? Okay, so do me a quick favor before you actually take possession of that car, double check it. Okay, we'll do a quick walk around. If you see anything that concerns you on there, come back in here and let me know. I'll document it. If I can't take care of it for you right now, we'll put it on a WIO. Okay, and we'll set up an appointment for you to come back. Right. Last thing that they're going to want to know is, did anybody explain to you the coverage that comes included with the car? So you know the monthly payment, the payment for the vehicle is $350 for 72 months with the $4,000 down. But what is your understanding of the coverage that comes included with that car? What do you know about the warranty?
3 years bumpers to bumpers and 10 years powertrain.
Okay, partly correct. Okay, so let me just go over that because there's some things that they will and will not cover. So I kind of want to make sure that we're fully on that same page. So first thing, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go over the powertrain. All right. So the powertrain is what we refer to as your engine, transmission, drive axle. Okay. That's going to be covered for 5 years, 60,000 miles. Okay. Now, the easiest way to remember this is anything that's being touched by oil is covered for 5 years or 60,000 miles. Okay, so that's going to be your internal lubricated parts of the engine, transmission, drive axle. All right. Now, the bigger part of the warranty is really what everybody refers to as that bumper to bumper warranty, even though it doesn't even cover the bumpers. But that's what we refer to it as, and that's going to be that 336. Okay. Now, even though it's shorter in time and miles, it's bigger because that's where your steering, your suspension, your electronics, your air conditioning, your brakes, all that stuff is right here. Okay. Now, the coverage to the manufacturer is called standard limited warranty. Okay. Now, standard in the automotive industry, so it doesn't matter what kind of car you buy, Toyota, Nissan, Acura, whatever. Okay. Same type of coverage, maybe the terms might be different, right? Limited in being said, it's not an open checkbook, okay? So they're not going to just cover anything. There's some things that they will and will not cover. So that's what I want to make sure that we're on the same page with, all right? Now, first thing has to do with how this is going to expire. Now, this is going to expire due to time or miles, all right? So what that means to you is that if you drive 36,000 miles in 1 year, then what do you have?
Nothing left.
Right. Well, yeah, you got a 1 year warranty, right?
Yes,
and you got nothing after that. Okay. Now the opposite is also true. Okay. If you don't do that kind of driving, then you're going to get the benefits of all 3 years. So whichever one occurs first, that's how this is going to expire based off of time or miles. Now, what's actually covered under this is any breakdowns caused by defects in the material or the workmanship, also known as parts and labor. Okay, so what that really means to you is that if this manufacturer builds something wrong, if they design something wrong on the car, or if they install something wrong on the vehicle, they're going to cover parts and labor to fix it. They're going to man up and be like, you know what, that's our fault. We'll take care of that for you. Okay, but if it breaks down for any other reason, it's not covered. Okay, for example, right? You drive out of here and you get road rage because you had to work till 11 at night because you work retail, and you punch the radio and you snap off the turn signal. It's not covered. Okay, that's just anger management. You need to calm down or get a better job.
Correct.
Okay. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Next thing has to do with the maintenance on the vehicle. Okay. Maintenance is absolutely required. You got to change the oil in the car.
Yes.
Okay. It's not optional. Okay. So there's going to be your oil changes and tire rotations. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question, right? But I'm sure you already know the answer. Why do you think that the manufacturer absolutely requires you to change the oil on the car?
Because if we do it outside and something happens, we'll avoid the warranty.
Yeah. So mainly for this part right here, for your powertrain coverage, right? Internal lubricated parts. So anything that's covered by oil is going to be covered for 5 years, 60,000 miles. If you never change the oil on the vehicle and you blow up the engine transmission, manufacturer, first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you, hey, did you change the oil on this car? No? Great. Here's the bill. Okay. If you have changed it, okay, and you have all your records for it and something failed there, then it's going to fall back on the manufacturer. Did they build, design, or install something wrong? Okay. And if they did, then they're going to cover it under the manufacturer warranty. So that's how that works. Okay.
Correct.
So a nice thing about doing maintenance with us is that we keep electronic records of all your maintenance, tire rotations, oil changes, things like that nature for you. Or if you decide to do it on your own, just make sure that you use the maintenance logbook in the owner's manual and track it all, the date and the miles that you did and the services at. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Road hazard, or such as your tire and wheel. Now, this is what actually touches the roads. This is what's going to get the most wear and tear. All right. Now, your tire company, okay, such as BF Goodrich, Michelin, whoever makes the tire on that car, is going to give you a limited warranty, which is going to be similar to the manufacturer, where if they build, design, or install something wrong on that rubber tire, they're going to cover parts liable to fix that. Okay. However, there is a lot of debris, a lot of car parts from car accidents on the road, a lot of potholes, things of that nature that we can't control. So if you run that over and you get a flat tire, unfortunately, that's not on the manufacturer. That's going to be on you, even if that happens 10 minutes after you leave here. Okay. If you hit a pothole and you bend that soft aluminum wheel, yeah, they look great, but unfortunately, they're more susceptible to damage. That's going to be on you also, unfortunately. Okay. So anything that's on the road, such as road hazards, that's not supposed to be there, are not going to be covered by the manufacturer. Okay, makes sense?
Yes.
Great. Now, anything on the exterior of the vehicle or damages by the environment, okay, such as your paint, interior, or rust. Now, manufacturer does give you coverage for rust if it rusts from the inside out. Okay. However, if it rusts from the outside in, such as a rock chipped the paint and it starts rusting from that spot, that's not covered. All right. Now, paint and the interior, well, that's where most of the value comes for that car. Okay. So the better it looks on the exterior and the interior, the more that car is going to be worth. Okay. So if you spill coffee on the inside of the vehicle, unfortunately, that's not covered because the manufacturer cannot control whether you stop at Starbucks or your kids inconveniently eat it in the car, you know, because they saw a McDonald's and now they want a Happy Meal, right? That's not covered, right? And the last thing is anything through your insurance company. Now, you told me that you had State Farm, okay? So basically anything that they cover, we don't cover, such as dents and dings, okay? Chips or cracks on the glass, and then loss of keys, things of that nature are not covered. Or if you get a total loss and you have negative equity, that's not covered either. Okay? Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So, like I said, this is standard in the automotive industry. There's nothing unusual about this coverage, right? So pretty much all manufacturers are the same way. Now, you are getting a brand new car. So I don't know if anybody's ever explained this to you, but this car is going to go through 3 stages. Okay. Now, on average, it takes about 15,000 parts to build a brand new car. Okay. Now, let me make it easier for you. Have you ever played with Legos before?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember when you're playing with Legos and you're putting them together, and sometimes they go on really tight, sometimes they go on kind of loose, right?
Yeah.
They keep falling off, you gotta get some super glue.
Yeah.
Same exact thing is gonna happen in a car, right? So it's gonna take 15,000 Legos to build a brand new car. And so what we do is, since some of those Legos come off pretty easily, we're gonna give you for the first year or 12,000 miles, what we refer to as an adjustment stage. So if anything comes loose, you can bring it back to the dealership and we'll bust out the super glue and readjust it for you. All right. Second stage is going to be out into the end of that manufacturer bumper to bumper warranty. Okay. And that's going to be what we refer to as a gas and go stage. Okay. So at that point, the car's been fully adjusted. It's got all the super glue on it. Right. And we pretty much expect you to put gas in the vehicle and take off. And if anything does break within that time period, manufacturer warranty is probably going to pick it up at that point. The last stage that the car is going to go through is the one that everybody's in denial about. Nobody wants to admit that this is a realistic stage, but it is. And that's when the car's older, it's got some more miles on it, and you become 100% responsible for anything and everything that happens to that vehicle at that point. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So, if it was me buying this car, all right, and if the manufacturer called me up and they're like, Eddie, since you work for us, we're going to give you a choice, okay? We're going to let you move this bumper-to-bumper warranty around, okay? So right now, it's sitting right here. See what I'm looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Car's pretty much brand new, right? The likelihood of you getting any use out of it there, probably slim to none, right? You can leave it there or you can pick it up and have it start over here instead. You're probably more likely to use it. Okay. Now, me being a logical thinker, I'm like, yeah, all day long, have it start right here. Okay. The problem is that I can't do that. Okay. And if I did do that, then that would make me responsible for anything that they left loose from the manufacturer. Okay. I'd have to come up with my own super glue. All right. So there really is no perfect scenario unless I had coverage all the way through, which is the point I'm trying to make. So, what I'm recommending is that coverage that I'm going to quote you is what we refer to as our platinum plan, okay? It's going to cover everything on the vehicle plus a little bit more. So we're going to cover your engine, transmission, front wheel drive system, okay? Steering, suspension, brakes, fuel injection components, your air conditioning, all your power windows and locks, right? And all the touch screens. The reason I'm quoting you the platinum coverage is because this is built for a modern vehicle, okay? Now, but the only thing that they're not going to cover on the platinum coverage is going to be your wearables, such as brake pads, okay, brake pads, spark plugs, maintenance-related items, anything on the exterior like, glass, door seals, things of that nature, and anything aftermarket, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the nice thing about this platinum coverage is that you can use it at any repair facility all throughout the United States, and it's all... If that shop that you go to doesn't have a vehicle for you to drive and it's going to take 3 days for them to fix the vehicle, we're going to automatically include a vehicle for you, all right?